All right, we want everybody to come on in, fill up the seats, and like I said, move those seats closer. All right, family. I would like to introduce to you a brother who I've known ever since I got into this movement. Me and the brother Sabir go way back. He's always been a stand-up brother. He's always exemplified the 5 principles. And he's always been a student. Okay? So I'm very proud to present to you and to introduce to you my good brother, our good brother, my fellow Moor, Sabir Bey. Please give him a round of applause, y'all. Let me hear it. Come on, y'all can do better than that. Sabir Bey. I'm gonna let the brother introduce himself to the family real quick, and then I'm gonna ask him a few questions.
Don't go nowhere yet. Don't go nowhere yet, bro. Where's my brother Blue at?
Blue. Y'all give it up for Blue Pill.
Let's give it up for Blue Pill, y'all. No doubt. Let me say, can we get some quiet real quick, please?
On the back, y'all.
These 2 brothers, like Red said, we've known each other for a long time. And I don't like to talk about it, but my son just passed away on August 15th. He was killed.
Shh. Just bring the volume down. Brother is, being very expressive right now. And what we can utilize is some support, right? The least we can do is pay attention. All right? Brother has expressed the fact that he lost his son earlier this year, okay?
Yeah, thank you. I don't really like to talk about it because it just happened. But these 2 brothers right here, and I know you can probably hear my voice. You'll get over in a minute. I've known these brothers over 20 years. And I just sat outside and said the sacrifice that we did, that we were putting in to keep this information out here to y'all. And it's not too many brothers that is still sincere to this day, that is standing on those 5 principles. And these 2 brothers, I can vouch for them. His son just turned 13. His son is like my son. His son was named after my son, Amir. Before his son was born, my son has always been around me. My son will be 23 tomorrow, if he was here. This is how long I've known these brothers. Many people can't say that. Many people can't. And I know my brother B just lost his son also. So my condolences go to your son also. We losing too many brothers and young cats under the age of 25 years old.
Amen. While we were getting ready and people were on break, brother back there showed me a text that said that the brother Quando Rondo has been killed tonight. Right? So now you got King Bond killed earlier this weekend, and you got Quando Rondo killed. Both of these brothers are under the age of 30, right? And this is going to cause a reverberation in a wave of killing in our community of these young melanated kings. So while people are pointing fingers at politicians talking about what are you going to do, we got a lot of nerve.
It's the enemy within. And I keep trying to tell you, it's the enemy within. I'm gonna move forward, y'all, because I just want to give these brothers their props and their flowers while they're here. And again, like Pill said, I have never got off this battlefield. No matter how hard it got, how I sacrificed my children to keep this information out and to argue with my own people at the exact same time over issues of being black or being African or RBG. I'm all of those things. As teachers, as Moors, because every last one of us in this room are Moors, whether you like it or not. That's who we are. So the issue is, why aren't we teaching our children that they are Moors? Let's empower these young cats, because honestly, responsibility is on us. It's on all of us. Because we're not going to be here forever. And my son was raised in this. But at the time he got caught up into the streets also the same way I did. I was shot 5 times also. So I know where this is going at. And I tried to tell my son that. So I'm not going to dwell too much into that, but I just want to give these 2 brothers their props, man, for staying strong, standing strong. All right, and give yourself a round of applause. And give that brother Q-Butter. Where's brother Q-Butter at? I want to thank him too. You know, it was funny because, you know, as I was watching Q-Butter, somebody said, I know you're boiling right about now, Sabir, because he's using the word black. I'm not that type of Moor. I'm not a fanatic, baby. I'm not a fanatic, you know, but I do know that we are Moors. Thank you, my brother. So, Pill called me and asked me to come to share some information with y'all about y'all. How many of y'all have traveled internationally? That's it. How many of y'all have passports? You know the first thing they tell you when you go overseas? A baby, before the baby they get a passport before they get a birth certificate.
That's a fact. That's right.
I'm gonna repeat that again.
True.
They get a passport before they get a birth certificate. Now I know some more will say, well, brother, that's commercial. No, the passport is basically, it's for you to deal with international commerce and everything else. It's your passport to pass from one port to the next port to network. That's what it's about. It has nothing to do with nobody having jurisdiction over you. Do a bank have jurisdiction over you if you have a bank account? No. You follow me? It don't. So don't let people tell you that a passport actually makes you have jurisdiction, because it really don't. It's about how you play the game. That's what this is about. So the first thing, how many languages do y'all speak? Matter of fact, let me bring this up. How many languages in this room, how many languages do y'all speak in this room? I'm asking these questions because I ask these questions when I travel. How many? We only got one person said 4 languages?
Damn.
Brother, and I guarantee you both of those brothers are not even from here.
1.5.
I bet you they're not even from here. And this is what we need to teach our children. Teach them languages. When I was traveling, the thing that hurt me, it didn't really hurt me. It's just me speaking the language, and they knew automatically where I was from. When I opened up my mouth, they said, oh, you're from America. And when you do stuff like that, when you travel, they're going to start targeting you. Because you're going to start going and acting as a tourist. So one of the advices they gave me when I was over there, because I went from Turkey, I stayed there, I stayed in Morocco a lot. I stayed in Tunis. I've been in Portugal. I've been in London. Where else did I go? I went to Malta. I be in these places like constantly. So the first thing they told me is that no more than one language. They said, even if you don't, I'm gonna tell you a joke what I did when I was in Tunis. It was so funny that I was walking around at nighttime and the guy ran up on me because I'm traveling by myself, literally by myself to these places. And the guy said, he walks up on me and asked me that I want to buy something. I was speaking like, y'all get it? I can't talk. Because if I talk, you know where I'm from. So this is the experience of traveling. So I was like, no, when they say you better speak a different language. So they think you're from somewhere else. And one of the places they thought I was from was Jamaica. That's one of the places. And another place they thought I was from China. I said, well, they got Chinese people looking like me over there. They said, yes, this is in Turkey. So the key, people, is the unity, and the unity will bring us together is who we are, and the world knows that every last one of you African-American black folks are Moors. That's a known fact, whether you accept it or not. You can go back as far as asking the question, how far does black go back? Somebody, give me, how far does the word black go back?
1492.
Who? I'm asking questions here. How far? 15 who? Where's all the scholars at in this room? how far does the word black go back?
1100s, 1500s?
1500s, right? But as a teacher, shouldn't you know that and shouldn't you be teaching that?
Right.
Then obviously the people are not black people. Are you following me?
Fact.
Shouldn't you know that? So we know that, why aren't we teaching the children this? To empower them. The world knows this. Why don't we know it? So if it's only the 1500s, then where did the word black come from? And I can call you a nigger, black man, in English, you get away with it, nigger. Do it make sense? It don't make sense. But these people know this. In my journeys when I was in Spain, I went through, if anybody know anything about Spanish language, I'm going through every Spanish dictionary while I'm in Spain. So was Spanish before English? Spanish before English, right? Okay. So what's the word for black in Spanish? Okay. So let's go back a little further than that. What was before that? Latin, right? It's nigger then, right? So if black is a modern term, let's go back further than that with the word Moor. Moor is older than nigger and negro and black. You follow me? So why are we having these issues and we keep lying to our children that they're black Americans? Your history is black history. It's not that. It's not. Carter G. Woodson, the most greatest historian, started Negro Week, not Black History Month. It was Negro Week he started, not Black History Month. And as I was traveling to these places, can you give me those books up there, somebody on my table? Those books, no. Yeah, no. It's the Jew, the Negro, and Morocco, and the Jew. And I'm gonna share something with y'all when I was in Morocco, which I didn't know until one of the Moroccans took me to a Senegalese Jewish quarters in Morocco. Did y'all know that? Did you know that it was a Jewish quarters? Not the Ashkenazis. I said Senegalese in Morocco. This is what we should be teaching our children. And this is one of the books. This is from 1892. The Jews of Morocco. Not 1800s, not 1960, 1895, right? Jews of Morocco. This book was written in 1910, The Negro, the Jew. When I was in Morocco, they took me to a Jewish quarters, and it was a Jewish Senegalese quarters. And I was like, really? He said, no, they from Senegal. When you start studying the history of who we truly are, and I'm gonna say this real quick, and I told Bill, some people may get kind of upset. All Moors were not Muslims, y'all. I just want to make this clear. All Moors were not Muslims, or Muslims, which way you want to flip it. Because you know they always got to say we're Muslims, brother, Muslim. It's the same thing, but we're not all Muslims. Before all that, we were spiritual beings. We were spiritual beings, and that's what we need to get back to again. So when Islam came in to Morocco and into these particular places by our people, it was by our people, because if you look up the Berbers and look up the Amazigh people, which is up in the Atlas Mountains in Morocco, you will see us there. But they don't show you that in the media. So these are the things that I was doing when I was traveling by myself, like literally sitting with these people, and they live inside of basically caves on the road. They were us, and I'm sitting like, whoa, this is kind of dope, yo. Like, and they feeding me as I'm feeding them, because I had to get them some dirhams. That's money, basically, what they use over there, dirhams and dirhams in different places. So as they're telling me the history about the Moors, and then they started asking me about the Moors that was in America. And this is the kicker, they started laughing. They said, why are these people in America flying the Moroccan flag and wearing a fez on their head? They were laughing. I just had a conversation with a Moroccan the other day. She said the same thing. She said, you need to be out here teaching them that we are the same people. And she says, you need to do more videos to teach them, because you go to these particular places. I've been to Rabat. I've been to Fez. I've been to Casablanca. I've been to Fez, Rabat, Casablanca, Tangiers, you name it. We have to go to these places and sit with these people, and they're asking us to come. They saying come back home, come home. And some Moors will say, well, bro, that's not my home. They saying come home is to basically come home. That's all they're saying, to come home. Their home is your home. We have to start teaching as Moors. And there's a lot of stuff that I didn't want to touch on because I was like, I'm upsetting some of these Moors, but I have to tell it. I have to come from the heart because you have a lot of fanatic Moors out here. And I tell Moors, you have to travel. Rather you indigenous to this land or over there. The key is to travel. That is the biggest key. Also, when I was in Morocco and when I was in Tunis, they said, do not call us Arabs. Most people call those people, the light-up version of the people, Arabs. They say, don't call us Arabs, we're not Arabs, we're Africans. They'll tell you that. And if you're in Turkey, they say, don't call us Europeans, we're Turkish. And if you know the history about Turkey, and if you know about the Bey, I am a Bey. If you know about the Beys, and you know about the Fezzes, this information we get over here in the States is so watered down, y'all. I mean, when you travel to these particular places, you'll see it. You'll start seeing it, and you can feel it in your soul that something is missing. So every time I would come back to the States, I would get depressed. I want to leave. I'd be like, oh my God, who's seen the documentary with Miles Davis? You ever see the documentary with Miles Davis? You saw it, right? What did he say when he came back? How he got on drugs. How it messed him up because how free he was over there, but when he came back here, he couldn't cope. That's how I felt when I came back. I couldn't cope. I was like, y'all don't even get it. You don't get what's going on. You think this is what it is, and it's not. Rather you say this is your land or not, we're not controlling nothing. You're not free. And that's the reality. But you have to travel, people. The key is to travel to these particular places. I was in a van with brothers that I didn't even know in Tunis. So I want y'all to imagine riding for 2 hours with some people that you don't even know about. No, in a van, in the desert, in the desert. And I'm watching my luggage. I'm thinking, I'm walking, it looks like this. And it was wild. In the rain. So I'm sitting here like, okay, I don't know where I'm going. I'm going to Hammamet. Hammamet is in Tunis. Most people don't know where Hammamet is and where Kairouan is at. So I was coming from one part, driving 2 hours directly through the desert in my brain because I'm colonized again. Somebody's gonna jump out of somewhere and ambush us. This is my mind, I'm by myself. I'm gonna keep it real with you, this is how I was feeling. But I was learning as I was in these vans, and they drop you off in the middle of nowhere. Literally, you in a van with like 9 people that you don't even know, and you by yourself. What would you do? How would you feel? Paranoid. And I did. You follow me? But as I stayed longer, I started getting comfortable, and they started talking to me about the history of Tunis. And I'm gonna tell you this, in Tunis, if you're not familiar with it, how many of y'all heard of this? Y'all talk about uprising? You know the uprising right now in the UK because of what's going on with this pandemic. They're over uprising right now. But in Tunis, they had this thing called the Arab Spring. I'm sitting with the brother who set himself on fire. I'm sitting in a restaurant with his brother. And he's telling me about how they was fighting the government. And I said, whoa, this is kind of crazy. I didn't know that was his brother though. But they watch everything that you do when you travel. I'm just giving y'all some stuff so y'all can see how these people are fighting. While we over sitting there, we fighting, making videos, arguing about is Jesus real or not. Is Jesus real? Or which way you pray? What difference does it make? These people are fighting for freedom. While we keep making YouTube videos. It happened in Turkey. I don't know if y'all familiar with Turkey. Listen, I'm sharing this stuff with y'all because I need y'all to hear me. Because I'm sitting in the midst of these people and they're telling me, I'm sitting with Syrians. I'm sitting with Kurdish people. And they're sitting, and mind you, I'm by myself. In Turkey, in Tunis, and they're telling me the stories. I'm getting text messages like, yo, brother, don't get into politics while you're over there because you may get kidnapped. But somebody has to go and report this information. In Turkey, they had an uprising. Don't believe me, go look it up on YouTube. They were fighting the government, shooting at the helicopters. They was doing all these things, and I'm sitting there saying, when are we gonna start doing that? You think the vote is gonna change anything? No, it's not. You have to travel. You have to see the world for what it is, man, because it's bigger than what y'all seeing on TV. There's things that I was watching overseas that y'all didn't get. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm calling back home like, are y'all getting this? Like, y'all see what's going on? It's censored over here. This thing is censored. And I'm telling you, man, it's an experience. And actually, we have to have more brothers on the ground. And like Pill said, we should take some young people over there, some youth over there. When I was over in Barcelona, how many of y'all know about Gaudi, Antonio Gaudi? I'm gonna say this one more time. Maybe I didn't say it loud enough. How many of y'all know who Antonio Gaudi is? Now go ask that same question to somebody from China, from Japan, from Africa, from Spain. Ask them who Gaudi is. How many of y'all know who Averroes is? How many of y'all know who Averroes is? These are names y'all should know. They were your people. Or y'all just know the slave people. Averroes. He was a Moorish philosopher. And they say he was a threat to this day. To this day, he was a threat. Look up Averroes. Ibn Khaldun. We talk economics, right? How many of y'all know who Ibn Khaldun is? He's African. You know, because you watched the video, right? Now you talk economics, right? Go Google Ronald Reagan speaking on Ibn Khaldun. I'm gonna say this again. Google Ronald Reagan speaking on Ibn Khaldun about economics, but you never hear none of these people that keep speaking about economics talk about Ibn Khaldun. They keep saying he's somebody else, but he's from Tunis. And if for the record, Tunisia is Africa. Period. Morocco is Africa. But you don't hear about him. I'm saying these names for a reason because what I'm doing, people, I have a calendar that I have, and I'm doing books so our children can know who these people are to empower them. You should be Googling this. We got Google right now. Google Averroes. How many of y'all know about, we go to hospitals, right? How many of y'all know about Ibn Sina? Or they call his Latin name Avicenna. Avicenna, but his name is Ibn Sina. Go ask any doctor right now here in the United States about Avicenna, which his real name is Ibn Sina, which is the father of modern day medicine. He started the hospitals. He was healing the queen. That's where the word hospital come from. He was Persian. Hospice or hospital because hospitality. That's where it comes from. But we're not being taught this, but if you go in any of these countries, believe me, verbatim, you're going to hear this conversation in a cab. And that type of philosophy is not being taught here to our people in America or United States. And that's what I want to bring to our people, our children, to know these things, to empower them. Because we did not just come from slavery. My history didn't start from slavery. I don't know about y'all's, but you can't show me that. My history did not start in slavery. But I can tell you this for a fact, that your nationality was stripped right here in North America, where in my city, Philadelphia, and Negro, black, and color was placed on each and every last one of you. So why are we not having this conversation? Why are we not having it? Why do we keep bickering back and forth about, I'm a black man, brother, but it's the ancient black gods of Egypt. And if you were smart enough and conscious, you would know that black don't go that far back. So how? If the soil was black, that has nothing to do with the people. The soil can be black, but has nothing to do with the complexion of the people. Somebody help me. We keep saying the black power. Obviously there is no power in it, but we keep putting it out there. Where's the power at? We haven't changed anything yet? Let's keep it real. And we keep lying to our children. And we keep passing that same thing down to them over and over and over again. So, again, we have the responsibility. It's not about me anymore. It's about our children. It's about your children. Because they're the ones that make the changes. They're the ones who make the changes. I'm not lying to my daughter. No way. I tell my daughter, I'm gonna say, pick up something black and pick up something white. Let's use common sense for a second. Do you look like that? Nope. Do you look like this? Somebody look like? No. Do you ever hear a Chinese man calling himself yellow? Think about it. Have you ever heard a Chinese man call himself yellow and somebody else call him yellow? It's craziness. And that's, I believe it was you, I think it was Red Pill, who said something about the caste system.
We don't even know what a color code caste system is. You are under a color code caste system to identify you as property. This is why you let these people take Negro wheat, which you were called at the particular time, into black. Now they just blacked out your whole history. And Tory means the word, in the etymology, the word Tory means to steal. So they stole your history anyway. History. Study etymology. Study the language. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Start reading. Start questioning. Question and travel. And I'm going to say this before, because I know Pill wanted to ask me some questions. Y'all have any questions you can ask me also. My Umi said to me, the world is too vast to suffer in one place. I'm going to say this again. He said the world is too vast to suffer in one place. Get up off your butt and travel. Travel. That's the best education you can give yourself and your child. That's the best education. Any questions y'all want to ask me? So, I know Phil had a whole lot of stuff. I'm trying to be cool, yo, so I see he's trying to start me up here, but we got another mic.
Fire, is it one mic or two? Two mics and then there's the mic. Oh no, they took the mics.
We can freestyle this thing, bro. You know. Yeah.
Check.
I gotta do some stuff to inspire people, brother. Hold up. This is an inspiring
music. That's
no, but this is the thing. When you study like hip hop, number one, hip hop is a well-off language. It means to open one's eyes. Hippie, it means to open one's eyes. And when you hip to something, you hop out on it. So when you hip to the knowledge, you hop out on it. It's like, when I was younger, I used to want a Smokey Robinson album. I said, Mom, I want it. And my mom went and got it. She hopped and got it.
This is what I define hip hop as. I use the analogy of how many people saw Godfather Hall?
Oh man, I didn't see that.
Show of hands. How many people? I know y'all don't got TVs no more, but you know, on the internet. If you, Godfather of Harlem was depicting on the noise. Godfather of Harlem was depicting the relationship between Bumpy Johnson and Malcolm X. That's like the arc of the story. So hip hop is Bumpy and Malcolm.
And that's what hip hop is.
That's what hip hop is. Hip.
And how?
I'm Malcolm. I'm hip to the news. That's what back in the days how people would be like, if you was up here and teaching, they'd be like, Brother Sabir, that brother hip.
And then you
like, what you mean? He know his thing. And then hop is Bumpy. He was the active principal, right? He will hop out. Nowadays they say pop out, right? But the hop principal, that's the trenches. The hop principal is the streets, right? They took a brother one day, they popped out. They didn't wait for Benjamin Crump to avenge King Vaughn. They didn't wait for that. They're active. That's what the streets are. They pop out.
And that's what we're doing now. That's why I
Exactly.
said to you earlier. This is hip hop.
Hip hop is right here.
I need y'all to hear this song. This is like an inspiring song. Cameron One and his wife. Shout out to Simone G. Parker. This is Cameron's One Day track. Listen to this for a minute. Listen. Everybody's a miracle.
method is empirical when it comes to these miracles. Within the miracle, I am the miracle. I am the pinnacle. Never pitiful. See past the typical. Deep mystical. Meta and physical. Rational and spiritual. Mind over material. I am the miracle. Say it with me. I am the miracle. Wipe away the doubt, the disbelief, and the fear in you. Project your mind down the line about a year or two. See yourself pursuing it and doing what you here to do. You are the miracle. Yes, you are the miracle. You get what you expect. See 1,000 people cheering you. You are the miracle. You and I are miracle. This is intellectually critical and political. Yes, you are the miracle. Cause faced with the imperial, we didn't lose our spiritual. That alone is a miracle. Standing on principle while others steady dissing you, but still showing love, living above. That's a miracle. They tried to put the fear in you, act like they wasn't hearing you, but that was minimal. You remain the miracle. No hate or bitterness, cause both are reciprocal. Not to become hateful for hate, that's a miracle. The rent due and the landlord, he ain't hearing you, but the check with no money on it you gave him just cleared for you. Miracle. When you pray, someone's always hearing you. Ancestors, Holy Spirit, maybe someone near to you. A miracle.
You are a miracle. Fresh, you are a miracle. Blessed, you are a miracle. You are a miracle. You are a miracle. Yes, you are a miracle. Fresh, you are a miracle. Blessed, you are a miracle. You are a miracle. You are a miracle.
Just take a look around, there's so many miracles. You should never think that you alone and no one cares for you. The very air you breathe in every day is shared with you. It's when you take for granted all that's been prepared for you. That's when you can't see the miracle, it's there for you. Perceive what you believe, don't be deceived by the fear in you. Life, that's a miracle. Your wife, that's a miracle. You got 2 kids, then twice, that's a miracle. Living in the city every day, that's a miracle. Crime all around, but you okay, that's a miracle. Walking in the spiritual, you seeing all the miracles. Things always seem to work out for you. Miracle. Heaven's always cheering you. The path is always clear for you. Divinity is steering you right toward what you here to do. Miracle. The universe, that's a miracle. It reflects what you project like a mirror to miracle.
Yes, you are a miracle. Fresh, you are a miracle. Blessed, you are a miracle. You are a miracle. You are a miracle. Yes, you are a miracle. Fresh, you are a miracle. Blessed, you are a miracle. You are a miracle.
That's for y'all, because each and every last one of y'all in this room is a miracle. That's not 20, 30 years ago. That's about a couple of months ago.
Right, that's KRS-One, y'all. That's the legend. Give it up.
Give it up. And let me share something with y'all. You know, Chris, you know, I've been on the road with Chris a couple of times. He came to my radio show. Chris inspires me because he's another individual that travels and sees the world. If you paid attention to what he was saying with his wife, that was his wife, Simone, on a hook, speaking. If you have children, that's a miracle. You made it to the next day, that's a miracle. We was trying to
He was going in.
He was going in.
Bar.
Yeah. So this is the type of information that we need back on the radio. Again, for y'all that don't know me, I've been doing radio for over 18 years. Blog talk is something that's new.
This is my first question.
Let's see. What's the question, brother?
As an industrious Moor, what is it going to take for us to make our own radio station now, post 2020?
Finances.
How much?
Well, I don't know what it is now, the prices, but I do know it's expensive to be on FM. There's a difference between AM radio and FM radio. And let me say this real quick, because people think that this blog thing is like radio. That's not real radio. It's what it is. It's called blogging. You do know that, right? It's called blogging. You know, it's not radio. It's not XM. It's blogging. So you're basically talking on it. That's it. But it does take finances to do it. I know when I was putting up money on an AM radio station, we was paying probably $400 a week. That's $400 a week. So imagine doing that from 2003 to 2009. I'm broke. Can y'all help me?
But what about advertisement, the new models that have come out, and there's been a democratization of those platforms. So what used to cost so a lot of money in production, like music production, like video production, it's basically been democratized. So for a lesser budget now, you can function as your own radio station on FM. So what I'm saying is, you know, the fact that we have brothers like you who have a history, and with that history is a knowledge. And I'm sure in this audience, we have brothers and sisters, if they don't have a knowledge or a history of the radio industry, they have a history and knowledge of something. Like like Blue Pill pointed out earlier, if you ever lived in a DC or that VA area, you know, forever, black women have run the government, bro. So to get all excited about Kamala right now, no, black women been running this thing. If you ever been in DC, all of the federal workers are us.
Kathy Hughes.
Yes. I mean,
Radio 1. Come on, man. Women has been, listen, everything is based on advertisement and sponsorship, people. Everything is based on that. This is why you have what you have on radio and TV right now. I don't know if y'all understand what I'm saying to you. Everything is based on advertisement and sponsorship, and they spend millions on advertisement campaigns, whether y'all know it or not. Millions to actually indoctrinate y'all.
What about the shift that took place where they shifted into digital? Are you know?
Well, you know, it was. I think when we was doing analog, and then it started shifting. I remember I'm trying to remember the year. Because we were doing analog, and then we started shifting into that to digital.
I mean new media though. I'm talking, when I say digital, I mean like the advertising dollars shifted into new media. When you see the documentary Social Dilemma, right? They explain how the business model of Facebook, Google, and all of these behemoths would put them in the $1 trillion range as companies was their model that they had for advertisement and whatnot. So the dollars have shifted away from traditional old school media, print,
to YouTube,
Facebook, Instagram, all of these platforms.
That's why they're investing all this history.
Yeah, and the investment is not, who's the investment? Who are they investing in? You. Because you, as the customer, anytime you log on, you're a customer. You sign that agreement both on your iPhone, that lines you up to get your data on one end. Then anytime you sign up to Twitter, Facebook, you contracted.
And you know the funny thing with
Hold on. Hey, where the boys at? Hey, guess what? I saw you on Facebook the other day. You contracted. You know what I'm talking about? Everything. Your likeness. If you upload a note, your thoughts, your baby pictures, all that. If you upload your album, that's theirs.
It ain't yours anymore.
It's not yours.
And this is why I say to people who are on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook who are arguing about suing YouTube when you already gave it to them. You can't sue YouTube. I live in California.
Sure.
You know, I seen the YouTube Center. That's a big place you're going to be fighting with, G. They got money. They can sit back and laugh at you all night long. So you can't fight those people when you signed the contract. The problem is we are not being taught what a contract is.
Talk about
it. We are not being taught what a contract is. Anytime you have grown people on a platform, national television, calling yourself a minority, and y'all know we say this a lot. I'm a minority, but minors can't enter contracts, can they?
Nope.
Okay, so you wouldn't even know when you're going into a contract. So there's elements to contracts. You got the offer, you got the acceptance, you got the consideration, and there's one more. Do anybody know? Don't say nothing. What is the last one? It's really only 3, but it's 4 up in here. The offer and the acceptance and consideration. Each and every last one of y'all in this room, this actually did a contract too, whether you knew it or not.
Agreement.
You came in the door.
Consent.
It ain't written. You walked in, you paid your little $20,
right,
and you sat down. That's a contract. Verbal. So there's one contract that is missing out of all of that. I just told you the offer, the acceptance, the consideration. Say it again? No, the meeting of the minds. The meeting of the minds. You got the offer, I said that part. The meeting of the mind. So if you are a minor, you cannot enter a contract properly. That's crazy. So how many times we go fill out bank loans or school loans or mortgage loans and you don't question any of that because you never read the contract thorough enough. You just signed it. It's the same with what you just said about the Facebook, the YouTube, and the Instagram. The voting. If you see I'm not gonna say my passport, but I don't sign it. But anyway, it's the reason why I write a certain way. But they're all contracts. Everything that you're doing is a contract. Teach your children this. Teach your children. You walk into a store, it's a contract. If you're a minor, you can't enter a contract. That's called common sense. You can't do that. You have to have the meeting of the minds.
Come on, yeah. I was just about to ask the audience. I have the first brother who wants to ask a question. Pull up more. Let the family hear you. I want to pass this mic. Or can you pass him the mic so he can ask the question? If you have any questions, please come forward because we want to engage our good brother Sabir. This is the segment called Ask a More. We're gonna bring Ask a Ninja back, but right now we got a more. Go ahead.
What is a minor or minority at law?
You know, it's funny, look at that. My brother got a law book. I love this. Look what he got in his hand.
Right.
Pick it up so everybody can see that. Let me tell you something. You heard? You see two hands up there? Let me tell you something. Have y'all ever read Carter G. Woodson's book, The Miseducation of the Negro?
Right.
How many people read Miseducation of the Negro? If you go back and read The Political Education Neglected, there's a chapter in there where he says the Negro must become like the English gentleman who studies the laws of the land and the interpretations of the court. Not because he wants to go into the profession, but every Negro must know that. The brother got the book, so he asked me what was it a minority.
Right.
A minority means a minor. And a minor can't enter a contract. It got to do with a number, because honestly, the real truth, we outweigh these people. It's more of us here in the United States or America than them. But it's what you're calling yourself. So now if you put yourself into a category as being black, then you go over here. Right? What are you, African American? We're going to put you right over here. How many Chinese people say that? They don't run through all these different names like Chinese or Somalians or Sudanese. They don't say we're all Sudanese. But you are calling yourself something that is an inanimate object. That's the real truth. Pick up a law dictionary. I just told you. You don't have to go to law school to do this. I studied law for 20 years, not in their schools like that, but I went into every law library there is and sat from Harvard to Thurgood Marshall. I went through all of them, Jenkins. I went through all their law libraries and sat there and went through every last one of their books and said, wait a minute, what is the problem? Why do we keep going backwards? Minority means minor. That's the prefix, minor.
Question. What's the definition of civiliter mortuus?
Civically dead in the eyes of the law.
Right.
Say that again.
Civically dead in the eyes of the law. It's civiliter mortuus, which means you're dead in the eyes of the law. Law does not apply to you.
So can you get justice
Nope.
if the cops shoot you down?
Nope.
So if you're a prosecutor, you would understand what civiliter mortuus is, correct?
Yes, they would. And every last prosecutor, every last attorney, every last politician study every last one of these books. From a Black's Law Dictionary to a Ballantyne's to Blackstone's to Bouvier's to a Corpus Juris Secundum to American jurisprudence. You name it, they studied every last one of them. If they don't know that, they're disqualified. This is real. I'm keeping it real with you.
Fact. So the fact that Kamala Harris, as a prosecutor, somebody who was a prosecutor, right? She understands color of law.
Yes, she do.
Yep.
She understands civiliter mortuus.
Yes, she do.
She understands that minors cannot enter contracts.
Yup. So, and Obama also, because Obama is claimed to be a constitutional attorney, right?
Constitution.
He should know that there's no black people floating around out here.
That's a fact.
He knows this for a fact. But he has to play the game.
Yep.
Again, you are responsible for you. That's why I tell people to be the man. Look at the man in the mirror. If you want that change, look. Michael told you. Look in the mirror if you want the change. Become the alchemist. Become the change.
It's you. Stop looking for the politicians. They're not there to help you, G. This is not, if you pick up a constitution, I left my constitution. In the Constitution, it'll tell you that democracy does not appear once in the Constitution. How many times y'all heard the Pledge of Allegiance? How many of y'all read the Constitution that says every state of the union? Oh, he got it, boy. You be coming prepared, bruh. Oh, bro, could you open it up? Hold up, could you let me out of a liar, man. You just pulled the this is what I'm talking about. And this is why a judge got upset with me one day when I was in Delaware because I quoted every book that he had sitting back there at the desk. Yeah. He got mad and asked me why was I spinning my wheels trying to figure this out. I said, I ain't spinning no wheels, beloved. Dude. Article 4, Section 4. Well, I can quote that every state of the union, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm going to go to where it says democracy does not appear once in the Constitution. So why are we calling this a democracy? It's a republic, right?
Right. For we
republic, right? Supposed to be. Okay. Oh, let's see if I can. No, it is. It ain't supposed to be.
It is.
It is. It's not supposed to be. It is. And republic means the people.
Back to the people.
Re means back to the public. Democracy means demos krasi. It's a Latin and Greek word. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. It means Malcolm said this to y'all years ago, but y'all went back to sleep.
Right.
He said it. He said democracy and what it meant. The mob rules.
Mob rules.
It ain't talking about you because you're not even part of we the people. You're under the 14th Amendment. You're a person. And that's what it is. This little book is $3.95.
$3.95.
And everybody should have it.
Everybody. Look, who got questions though?
Any questions?
Yeah.
I hope I answered your question about minority. And majority means that you can handle your own affairs. Minors cannot handle their own affairs. They're incapable of handling their affairs.
So was the Minority Report about us?
So my question that I have for you is getting back to contract. So if one was to sign a contract and they sign on it without prejudice, and then they put their John Hancock, would that change anything as far as the individual who is signing it, who is somewhat aware of the contract and how it could possibly take away their unalienable rights?
We talking UCC.
So, if this is what they caught on to, let me tell you, because I told you we've been doing this for a long time, right? So they catch on in certain places late. So when we were in Philly and in Jersey, we used to have classes and we would show people how to sign paperwork. So what we would do, and I'm gonna tell all y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all this because it may save y'all. Y'all getting it for free right about now. So the game is you put all rights reserved on there, right? And then you write over top of your name. So it'll be stuck there, because if you do it on the bottom, they can take it off of it. This is how slick they are. And sometimes if you do that, what they do is they say, no, you can't do that. You know, we can't take it that way. You follow me? They'll do stuff like that, but then you can sue them for discrimination. I keep trying to tell people, the same way they do you. The same thing with this whole mask thing. I was in Philadelphia, and they kept telling me to put the mask up when I was in the Whole Foods. I think you was with me, and I was in Whole Foods. And I say, put the mask up. I said, I'll sue you. That's a discrimination case. When you telling me to put a mask on, that's not a law. It's a discrimination case. It's not a law. And people, and they throw these words out as if it's the law. No, it's not a law. The law is the Constitution. Show me. And this is why people are rising up over UK right now. They say, no, this is the common law, dude. You can't tell me to do that. It's the same thing with your signature. You can't force me to put anything down there. And if that's the case, you can sue them for doing stuff like that. That's why we need to have law classes set up.
Right.
Everybody in this room should have a law dictionary.
That's right.
Everybody in here should have a law dictionary. From the babies on to the older people. To know how to deal with these people. Because they never stop. They got people they pay around the clock while you sleeping to do you tomorrow.
By a show of hands, how many people are interested in traveling outside of the borders of the USA?
Get a passport, G.
Bro, take a picture. Take a picture.
I ain't got my what you call it.
We're gonna send around. No, I'm dead at. We're gonna send around. You got your book with you, right? One of your notepads. All right. Well, I'm gonna send around a book because what I want to do is I want to document. I want to capture everybody's email and their phone numbers because I'm serious about this. You know what I mean? Like the brother Sabir, he's going around the world. He is what is known as a liaison. Do you know, like when we were in Harlem for over 20 years, they were sending their liaisons before they came.
Yes, they did.
We were being greeted by nationals from China. We were being, and the way that they greeted us, they would right, Blue? They would buy stuff from us. They know that the dollar was a language, right? Universal. Me not speaking no English. But I got a few singles. I'm like,
That's universal, right?
yeah, I'm like, rapido. You know what I'm saying? I started speaking Spanish. You don't have to speak English.
No, you do not.
Rapido.
And let me tell you this, when I was in Spain, the Chinese was over there deep. When I say deep, it looked like this room. I'm like literally in Spain, like, what are they doing? I'm sitting in Morocco in a hotel, in this Hotel Feta, it's called Hotel Feta, and I'm like, what are they doing over there? So, you know me, I'm like...
Yeah, whatever their history is rich, the Chinese are there.
Yes.
Like they got to the book before you did, or they read the same thing that you read, but they got the bread to pick up, and they setting up everywhere where it was lit. Everywhere.
And we are free to go.
Right. So, Sabir is paving the way. He's taking notes. And he's coming back and he's letting the family know where it's good at and where it's not. Yeah. Where's the no-fly at? You was telling me they almost got you somewhere? Where was that?
Oh, he's talking about Fez.
Fez, he almost got
y'all familiar with Fez in Morocco. Fez in Morocco. I went from Fez, Rabat, Casablanca. So when I get the roughest place I've been was Fez. So mind you, I'm in Fez and I'm thinking it's cool.
How ironic. Huh? I said, what about the irony of that? You know what I mean? For my February remorse.
Yeah, so let me tell you this, right? So the driver that drove me from Marrakesh to Fez, he said, you're gonna stay inside there? I said, yeah, it's inside the Medina is like an old city. So it's everything in there is old. It's like the walkways are like not even half of this room. Literally dark. So he said, you gonna stay in there? He said, you sure? I said, dude, I'm from Philly, dude. You crazy? You know, I'm trying to boost myself up. I'm from Philly. You know, as soon as I go in the hotel, I check in, I walk outside, a bunch of brothers out there. I said, oh. So they said, brother, like, what you want? You want some hashish? And that's like weed over there, right? So as soon as I said, no, I'm good, I don't get low, I get high. Automatically, they said, American. I said, okay, it's time for me to go in the house. I was by myself. I said, it's time for me to go right back in. So in my brain, I'm trying to remember which way I walked. Through this walkway, I'm like, okay, I came up here. I remember him sitting there, right? The dude comes behind me, follows me all the way to my hotel room. Now, mind you, I can't give y'all, you gotta imagine what it looks like there at that time in dark, trying to know where your room was at, because I've never been there before. But the dude come up behind me, and he asked me, he said, I turned around, you running up on me, dude, I'm gonna look at you. And I had a battery pack with me. And he said, "What, you scared?" I said, "No, dude, I got shot in my head. I ain't scared. I'm still trying to hype myself up because I'm over there by myself. I know nothing about Fez." And I get some to follow me to the hotel room. And I said, "Wait right here, I'll be right out." I never walked out that room, that hotel room. I ain't crazy. I'm not crazy, G. See, I was on the streets, but this is how crazy it was over there. But to see it, how dangerous it was in that particular part, but I didn't know it was that bad. Because a friend of mine was from Fez, but he lived in Oakland, so when I called him when I got back, he said, "You was in Fez?" I said, "No wonder the driver didn't want to come in here." He said, "You was in Fez?" He said, "Dude, don't nobody go to Fez. That's for criminals. They let their criminals go there. And they don't use guns. I can tell you this, nobody uses guns. Everything is machetes and knives."
Yep. It ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's real.
So, do we have any more questions from our intelligent audience? Yes, sir.
Get them down. Take that noose off your neck.
Hey, what it is?
All right. So my question is,
That's funny.
That's what it is.
in the spirit of unity and moving forward as a people, how do you think we can move forward? Because you was talking about uniform earlier. I believe we need unity.
Uniformity.
Yeah, uniformity, but we need unity, not uniform. So when I say that, I mean uniform as in everybody dressing the same, everybody acting the same, everybody looking the same. That's not going to happen. So how can we move forward without uniform? How can we move forward with unity? You know what I'm saying? Like putting our beliefs aside, but still knowing that we are who we are.
In my travels, right, I don't know if you heard me earlier when I said this. I'm all religions. I'm a Muslim. I'm a Christian. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. I'm an apostolic. I am all of that. If you call me black, I'm gonna explain what black is. You see what I'm saying? That's the unity right there. The unity is there. But the key thing that we all have in common is that we are Moors. We were never really unified in Africa, bro. I don't know where people keep getting this from. You have tribal wars all day long.
All day.
Like, if you go right now, you can't say it's the white man. In Nigeria, if you see what's happening in Nigeria, is it the white man doing that?
Nope.
Look around right now. Is it the white man doing it, or is it our own people?
Our own people.
Okay, so how do we fix this? You unify with people who are on the same page with you. I don't care if you're from over Africa, if you're from the Caribbean. If we speak in the same language, we on the same page, I'm rocking with you. That's just how I am. I'm rocking with you. I don't care what your religion is. And that's what Malcolm X said back then. He said, you keep your religion in accordance with you and your God. And I'm saying the same thing. I don't care.
Right.
For you, like, I'm talking about the for example, the Hebrew Israelites.
Well, they'll eventually come. No, I got you. No, I feel you, because people keep asking me to talk with them, but again, they'll come. It ain't their time right now, brother. Don't worry about it. It ain't about them.
Let me show you something though about uniformity. On the noise, y'all. Give us a minute, please. Give us a minute. By show of hands, how many of y'all saw on the 4th of July the armed demonstration by INFAC? Remember INFAC?
Stone Mountain.
Right? All right. Now, did you notice something about that demonstration when you were watching it? Why it was so sticky? Meaning, why did millions of people watch it immediately? Because you saw unity in uniformity, right? You didn't have to ask for unity because it showed up in uniform. Meaning that if it was a sea of rainbow colors, or one person had on a brown shirt and his pants was hanging down, and another brother had camo, but another brother had pink on, it wouldn't have the same impact. Everybody had on black. It was a sea of black.
What did I just say? I said this, no lie, I said this over in Morocco.
Yeah.
I said, imagine if 20 Moors came to Morocco with fezzes on. I was one person.
Yeah.
And how they literally was bowing down to me.
Prophet said a sea of fezzes.
They would literally lie, no lie, bro. They was bowing down like they knew.
Right. There's a video going out where the Hebrew Israelites was wearing gold and purple. How many people seen that?
Yep.
And it was almost 1,000 of them.
Yep.
There was no ego in that demonstration. Meaning that everybody looked like they were moving like an ant farm as one in uniformity, right? You don't need to stand out. We don't care about your ice right now. Put on all black, cover your face, we going to war, right? That's what I'm talking about. And when we say, yo, show up, the first sign that you can obey an order is that your ass show up in black, the color that we said to show up in.
Yeah.
You gotta show some type of commitment. You gotta show some type of uniformity. You gotta show me that you a team player and that you're not gonna show up in pink and try to stand out, because that means that we can't really use you. You're not trying to play for that.
And that's what I saw. And I'm gonna tell y'all again, listen, go back and look up Turkey Uprising. Go back and look up the Arab Spring. Watch what took place. Pay attention, because you can learn something from anybody. We so stuck on this pro-black thing. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, unify. Anybody, and people say, well, Sabir, some Moors don't agree with you. I don't care about them agree with me. One thing that we have in common, I can ask every Moor internationally, what's your 5 principles you stand on?
True peace, freedom.
There you go. So that's the unity right there.
That's the unity.
You follow me? That's the unity. So we're going to stand on that love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And that's what we all stand on. You don't have to agree 100% with me, but you're going to stand on those principles with me.
King, I feel that we are still searching for a principle to all unify around, right? That's something that shouldn't have taken so long. But in the meantime, between time, there's definitely a unification or unifying principle to a lot of the things that you're seeing right now. In this room, by show of hands, how many people are Moors? By show of hands, how many people repping RBG, Black Power? By show of hands, how many people are into the Nile Valley Kemet way of life? By show of hands, how many people are Shalom? You know what I'm talking about? Black Moses. Yeah, where you at? There you go.
My hands stand with all of them.
Yeah. So the unification is right here, right? We all unify. And what's the principle that we all unifying under? Knowledge. We're knowledge seekers. So we come out tonight to tap into some knowledge. And not only are we getting knowledge, we're getting life. We're getting performance. Yes. Yes. Questions? Yes. Regardless.
Yes, I know you keep saying unification.
Yes.
But at some point we need to at least nationalize ourselves because we don't know what to call ourselves.
Yes.
Except African Americans, Black, Moors, everything.
Yes.
And you know, my thing is, Black is a color.
Yes.
You understand? It's not
Not a nation.
Not a nation. And so at some point, I mean, I know the Chinese, they used to be known by the dynasty, the Shang dynasty, the Tang dynasty.
Yes.
And at some point, they got together and unified themselves to be called Chinese.
Right.
And they moved this point. So when you say Chinese, they understand that. They all identify with that.
That's a fact.
We do not identify
On the noise. Thank you.
We do not identify with a nationality. I mean, you know, you got, like you just mentioned, the Hotel brothers, the Muslims, the,
Yes.
you know.
Well, this is, yes, and I don't mean to cut your wisdom, but please. And I do want to address that. I want to say this, that, yeah.
And when it comes to the Black Law Dictionary, what does black mean? Because see, that is a negative connotation I have been taught from the Moors, exactly, from the Moors, because I studied with some Moors, and they were saying that we should become ourselves black. And then when we fill in our applications, we don't know whether we should check African American and Black. I mean, all that stuff is we don't really have no way to identify ourselves as a group.
That's right.
And that's where I'm at. You know, so he just said, raise your hand if you're this, and raise your hand if you're that. But I think we need to, you know, come together and nationalize ourselves and move as a unit. Then we ain't got to argue about this and that, and the origins of this and where we came from. And, you know, too many people are just, you know,
and
confused or just
that's
at each other.
absolutely
That
correct.
puts more division.
Of course. So that's where order comes in, correct?
Yes.
I'm gonna let you address this in a minute. What I was saying to the brother 1 minute ago is that we, as a collective, should find something that we can all unify around. And nationality should be that. Being that we have just come out of an election cycle, right? We still got that voter thing fresh in us. So now that we have got a new administration, what's stopping us from voting collectively, right? To say, this is who we are now.
That's true.
We're going to vote. We're going to come together, unify around a concept of being a new nation. Where there's no favoritism, nobody feels left out. It's almost like the sister said, do you know that in Georgia, they have what is known as confederacies?
Yep.
What are Confederate? I ain't talking about the people that they carved on Stone Mountain. I'm talking about the autonomous ones. Right?
Right.
They formed confederacies when they were going up against the Ops. It was either the French, the English, or the Spaniards. The true history hasn't been told in this land about all of the different Europeans that we had to go up against.
Right.
And the tribes of those Europeans, and the clans and the nations of those Europeans. Because there was the movie Reverence with Leonardo DiCaprio. They gave you a clear depiction about what was going on with white on white crime. It ain't even such a thing as white, but European on European. The English was banging on the French, was banging on the Spanish, and then they were using the tribes against each other.
Yep.
So we are Confederates now. This is a confederacy. I call it the school of thought and knowledge. Islam, Moors, Kemet, RBG. These are like colleges. They're like schools of knowledge. But we're Confederates because we at war. What's the war? Intellectual warfare. We've been fighting since we got knowledge of self. Yeah. The bodies that we are, you think King Barn and them had stains, bro?
Slave the body, slave the body.
You think the Chirac demons had bodies? Look at what we've been doing. Intellectual warfare. Look at the walls of Jericho that we've been collapsing. Taj Tariq, C. Freeman L., the Round Table. I'm talking about what Noble Drew Ali was doing, what Elijah was doing. Y'all don't think that there's such a thing as intellectual warfare. Y'all don't know the importance because they said that we are fighting with higher principalities. You niggas is spooked out. It's not just demons.
Right.
It's ideas and concepts.
Right.
It's intelligence.
Yes, it is.
So they created about 10 new intelligence agencies after the new rise of consciousness. Did you know that?
Yep.
They created like 10 of them. And they still haven't outwitted us. So yeah, it's time to form a nation because we already at war. We out here fighting and they got us fighting each other. How did the Confederacies lose? They was banging on each other. And the Europeans stepped back and was like, chill. Let them rock.
What are they doing now, Phil? What are they doing to the Facebook battle? But let me address it quick with you, sister.
Hold on, real quick. They signing drillers to multi-million-dollar contracts. That's what they doing. They're gonna sign some new drill artists now that the two is dead. That's how they say, you know what? Let's fund the war and step back.
That is true.
And you knock each other off, and then they come and get the spoils of war. Right? You're a woman. Well, go ahead.
It's true.
That's deep.
But what you were saying about the Black's Law Dictionary, it's not a black person. The guy's name is Henry Campbell Black.
Right.
That is an individual's name. That's why you heard me run down these dictionaries. I didn't just say Black's Law, I said Valentine's Law, Bouvier's Law, Blackstone Law. These are law dictionaries that every attorney study from. It's no secret. They study from Corpus Juris Secundum. They study from American Jurisprudence. They study these books. So it had nothing to do with the complexion. Now, a person. Let's go back to what you were saying about the nationality. Noble Drew Ali brought this to us already.
100 years ago.
He been brought it to us. We fell back to sleep. And now when they brought in this whole black concept, when I sit back and I see people constantly to this day on YouTubes, and I'm gonna say, Omar, he's one. He's one. He sit up and keep calling people the black this. I'm like, dude, you're a psychologist. Why you keep using the word black? And you travel and you know they don't use the word black in these countries. So you're deceiving your own people.
Facts.
This is the reality. Let's keep it real. You ask these people, what were you called before the 1500s? Let's keep it real.
More Ethiopian.
Moors are Ethiopians. So if we were that, then why we keep shooting from being a Moor, they're going straight to the black thing? That don't make sense to me. Help me, somebody. You want to jump from being the Moor to being the black? And you want to try to justify it? And you listen to these cats, they try to justify it. Well, brother, because everything came out of darkness. Darkness don't mean that it's black.
Right.
Coffee's not even black. Did you know that? Coffee is brown. But they say, give me black coffee. Coffee's not brown, it's Buna. It's called brown. B-U-N-A. Look it up.
Black is actually the absence of white.
Yeah, but we'll justify these things. But if you're in these type of professions, you're supposed to know the languages. That's the key internationally. When I was in Cordoba, Spain, they was talking about language on the wall. I said, oh my gosh, wait a minute, language. One day I do a presentation. I took a lot of pictures, and I'm ready to do a whole
like a collage, like photos I'm gonna have so I can do an exhibit to show y'all. In Code of Spain, they have a wall and it talks about how languages change. And I said, oh, this is crazy. And I took
Can
a
I
picture.
share something?
Sure.
I think when you share with the family where white people came from, they can understand what your argument about this whole black social construct means. Because the people that you call white were not even considered white 100 years ago.
No. That's a
We're
fact.
not.
There's no such thing as a white person. That's a fiction,
Yep. Legal fiction.
right?
Legal fiction.
It's not. They were called, they were described, they weren't even nation states. They did not call themselves European at one point. They didn't even call themselves Spaniards at one point. They were Castilians and Aragons and stuff like that. They were from the Gauls. They were not considered. And then the Whigamores, or the whites, W-I-G-H-T, right? This is something new. So when you look at the Irish, how many saw the Irishman on Netflix? Nobody? During the chill, during the lockdown? You didn't see Irishman? Okay.
The original Irish.
How many people saw Gangs in New York? So, how many people know about the story of the 19 Italians that they hung in Louisiana in 1909?
Oh, they were black people, brother.
Huh?
They were black people, brother.
And the remittance that America gave those Italians, where they say, you know what? We're going to give y'all a holiday and we're going to call it Christopher Columbus Day. Let's bring this guy, this character who's of Italian descent, we're going to put him into the limelight. Do you know that the Irish were considered niggers?
Yeah.
Yeah. In Philadelphia, they have a state.
They were not in the fold of white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, because before you had white, you had WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, what they call blue blood or highbrow civilization.
Right.
This is a social construct. You cannot find these Europeans referring to themselves as white people. Nope. So if that's a social construct, can you understand what the fuck they got us in right now by calling ourselves collectively as black? That's like calling wild fish sardines. Do you know sardines is a bunch of fish with their heads and their tails chopped off and they just threw it in the can and called it sardines?
What's the name of the fish that's inside there?
I mean, it's a bunch of them.
There you go. You don't have a name. What you call? Hold on. Do you see any free fish called sardines?
No.
No.
Where's the free black people at?
Right.
Just think about it. Something to think about.
Right. So that concept about a social construct. A social construct is created by social engineers. Social engineers study the power of word, and not the word that you think you know. Etymology. The word, they put it in front of you. The word that you think you know, you don't know nothing of. People sneeze and they say bless you. You just wish somebody bloodletting. You just put blood spell on them.
Hold on, the brother has a question right here, bro.
All right, so long story short, we know we're dealing with, or they got us conditioned into like minority type thinking, right? So if we could break it all the way down elementary, and like if a 5-year-old was to ask, what is a Moor? You know, how would you answer if a 5-year-old, because I could use that same answer to answer like a sleep person, so to say.
And I'm gonna say this. Everybody should have this book called 100 Amazing Facts About the Negro by J. Rogers.
Hey.
Right? If somebody asks, you talk to a child, like I have a little guy, used to date his mom. He's 5, I think he's 9 now. And I was teaching him since he was 4 or 5 years old about who he is. And we would talk about him being a Moor. And I would do stuff with him. I would walk with his little JJ. I used to do videos with him on YouTube. And I would walk with him and I would say, JJ, what color is that car right there? He would say brown. And see another car, what color is that car right there? He'll say blue. You say, what color is that car right there? He says white. We get to the next car. I said, what color is that? He says black. I said, now look at your skin. I said, what color is your skin? He said, it's brown. You follow me? Something as simple as that. Teach that to the children. Somebody would say, well, that's too extreme. Well, we ain't got to be doing all that, brother, because we all black. And we all... I never said I wasn't from Africa. Africa and black is two different things. They're not synonymous, people. Black and African is not synonymous. They can bring me all their best scholars on this platform. It's not. But Negro was synonymous with Moor. Negro was synonymous with Moor. Because it was called nigger, Negro, from Moor to nigger, Negro, Blackamoor, then straight black to wipe out the Moor part and just keep the adjective black. That's all they've done. Land?
Yeah, of course.
Well, don't ever listen to me. Don't go to Google. Did you see Common talking to Talib Kweli? Go watch Common speaking to Talib. I've seen it. About what Wikipedia did. He said, man, that ain't even me, dude. He said, I can make y'all a millionaire, but people go straight to Wikipedia. Let me get the information on. Go get some books. Go get some old books. And on top of that, travel. Travel and get some old dictionaries. And go through. And Malcolm was a master at that. He didn't have no master's degree. He had no doctrine, but Malcolm knew the dictionary from the front to the back.
Facts.
Yeah, he never had that, did he? But Malcolm knew every word. Because words have power. There's a movie out y'all should check out called Spell.
Check it out, Spell. Look, y'all, we have gotten to that time of the night. I wish we could be here all night, but we don't got a late pass. We're going to wrap it up. But before we all get out of here, and before we leave, I want the brother Sabir to give the family his social media tags, and also his Cash App. You know what I'm saying? Sock into his pocket. You know what I mean?
And I have some DVDs over here too. Actually,
yeah, and he got some work.
I'm starting my third calendar. This is my third calendar I started, and it's the 2021 calendar with all of our scholars from Dick Gregory, Dr. Sabi, Ivan Van Sertima, Noble Drali, Harry Belafonte. This is my third calendar that I had. It's like a book basically, but it's a calendar. The 2021 calendar is ready to come. It's a sign-up sheet over there. You can pre-order it also. And also I have DVDs on that table also with my brother Jose Pimentel Bey, with brother Taj Tariq Bey, Abdul, and myself in Texas. You can go there and also hit me on YouTube. It's Sabir Bey YouTube channel. And the Instagram is Real Sabir Bey. Real Sabir Bey.
And right. Get that man a hand, y'all. Come on. Sabir to traveling more. Traveling more. And we gonna go on that trip. That's yeah. But in the meantime, between time, where's Secret at? Because she got a trip coming up. She going to Tulum. Come on up here and let them know about Tulum. Yeah. Oh. And me and Blue Pill, we finna go to Puerto Rico too, December 12th to the 13th.
Go to Tulum too.
But they got these mandatory COVIDs in Puerto Rico, so we're gonna see about that. It just popped up. But she got a trip coming up. This the birthday girl. I'm gonna let her tell y'all about it. Let them know.
Thank you, brother. So yes, we have a retreat coming up November 30th to December 4th in Tulum. Me and Chef Aki, vegan chef. It's gonna be amazing. I have a nonprofit called Travel with a Purpose, and what that's about is basically we take a healing retreat where we all go together, we heal amongst each other, but we also give back to the children of the land and heal the land. Make sure we're leaving an impact and actually coming and being a vessel of love wherever we go and visit. So it's an amazing, powerful trip. We did last year, we did Jamaica. This year, we in Mexico. So y'all definitely tap in. Yes, and this year's co-ed. So I need the men to come, because, you know, the brothers, y'all need the healing. We need to all heal together, you know? So definitely tap in. Oh, Divine, yes! My baby Divine is going to be there too. She's going to be teaching the sacred movement. Go ahead, talk about it. Tell us what you're going to be doing, baby.
Yes, so, peace, everyone. I'm Divine. So I will be attending the retreat, Travel with a Purpose. Yes, the most important thing about that is that we're giving back to the community. So we're going to be there with the children, but we're also pouring into ourselves tapping into self-love, tapping into a sacred movement, which is really learning how to get in touch with your divine feminine essence. And that's for men too. We all can achieve the balance. So it might look like a lot of dance movements, some sexy stuff, a lot of this.
All of that.
And guided meditation and sound healing as well. So I hope to see you all there. Peace.
Yes, it's gonna be amazing. So y'all
Give
can
them a
plug
hand,
in.
y'all.
Yes, thank you. And y'all can plug in at www.travelwithapurposeretreats.com or follow me on Instagram, African Secret with 2 T's, and tap in. Thank you. And Aki, of course, Chef Aki, she'll be on the trip as well. Yeah, Chef Aki, vegan chef. And Red and Blue got their retreat coming December 14th, I believe. What is it? 12th?
December 12th to the 13th.
Puerto Rico.
Go to elevation.eventbrite. We're going to have Supernova Slum. We're going to have Sister Karma Soul, Red and Blue Pill. It's going to be hosted by our brother Oraji Neferum. And we'll also have, who else is going to be on that trip? I forget, but it's going to be lit though. It's going to be a workshop for holistic entrepreneurs one day, and then the next day we're going into the rainforest. There's going to be some healing, plant-based healing taking place, psilocybin of course, ayahuasca, and all of those other things. Bella, pull up. Yeah, so that's going to be lit. Yeah, and also me and Blue Pill's birthday is coming up on the 14th, so by the time I see you next Monday, it will have already passed. I think we're going to be doing a live stream. We might be in Virgin Islands. We're going to be doing American Gods 44. We're doing a live pay-per-view. We're going to put the information out there. So I'm being Ghost Band on Instagram. So go check out Blue Pillar 44. You'll see the information on his page. If you happen to see my feed, you'll see it on mine as well. But, you know, that's what it is. And we're going to end the night off. I think we have a special guest tonight. I think we have a special ending. Is Domo still here with the steel painting?
Real quick. Yo, how many people saw Out of Darkness? The documentary. All right, so I'm actually the producer of Out of Darkness, and we actually have that film going to be in 68 countries. It's getting ready to go on iTunes, Apple TV, Tubi TV also. So we had to edit some stuff out, but it's getting ready to go to 68 countries in 68 languages.
Out of that, man. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Oh yeah, that's powerful. We gotta tap into that for real. You gotta send me the info. So I'm so excited. We got Pink Pill on the stage right now. She's about to close us out, y'all. I need everybody to give Pink Pill a round of applause.
I didn't know that until like later on.
Hi everybody.
Like, wow. These is like you doing your thing, like you mentioned like.
How y'all feeling?